And welcome back. You may have just seen this one on My 9 Sports, but either way, as promised, we've got more hockey for you. So we go to H-Town where the Hawks were hosting the other Hawks. It's the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks hoping to hand Hermantown their third loss in tonight's regular season finale. In the first period, George Peterson to Cade Kohanski, who gives the centering pass to Wyatt Carlson. He's denied, but incoming as Dallas View gets the power play goal through chaos and all for Hermantown's first goal of the night. As you can imagine, definitely not their last. Moving into the second now, and Hermantown making their way to the O-Zone and bombs away Cade Kohanski from Samuel Swenson, his 13th of the year, and H-Town doubles their lead 2-0. And the duo strings together another silky sequence, Kohanski's second in a row tonight for the Hawks' third of the night. While the Hawks have all the momentum in the world, Grand Rapids' Luka Roloff rips a laser, and Luke Dulong puts the rest away to make this a 2-goal game in the final frame. And riding solo now, River Freeman puts the nail in the coffin as the Hawks conclude their regular season, winning their 12th Lake Superior Conference title in 13 years. And across the bridge in the